Look at these two hospital bills, Bill A and Bill B. Now, one of these patients had a health insurance of 8 lakh rupees while the other had a health insurance policy of 10 lakh rupees. Now, any quick guesses as to who may have paid more from their own pocket? Well, leave your answer in the comments before I reveal my answer. The answer is person B who had a 10 lakh rupees health insurance policy. The reason? The fine print in the insurance policies. The problem is that people who buy health insurance just keeping in mind a low premium criteria are the ones who end up paying more in the hospital. Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here. In this video, I want to give you a simple 3-2-1 cheat code to choose or review your health insurance in a calm and structured way. No panic, no fear, just clear practical steps. Also, I'll give you a bonus tip at the end of the video which will ensure that you will never have to worry about finding your insurance papers when you need them the most. Well, here's the 3-2-1 cheat code for you. 3 non-negotiables you must check in every health insurance policy, 2 key numbers that decide if the plan is right for you or not, and 1 action that protects you from regret later. Now let's start with the 3 non-negotiables, out of which the first one is room rent limit. Now for your room rent criteria, if your policy says 1% of the sum insured per day, and let's say your cover is 5 lakh rupees, your allowed room rent will be what? 5 lakh ka 1%, which is 5,000 per day. And if you choose a room that costs 10,000 per day, then it's not only 5,000 per day as an extra, it's a lot more. Didn't understand? Let me give you an example. Have a look at this. Your room rent for 10 days will be how much? 10,000 into 10, which will be 1 lakh. Now, assume all the tests, all the other expenses like lab tests, physician consultation fee, medicines, ambulance, all these total up to 2 lakh rupees. What a person may feel. A person may feel that in this case, he will have to shell out only 50,000 extra, which will be 1 lakh ka 50%. But that's not the case. 50% of all these other expenses will also have to be paid by him. So it's not only 50% of 1 lakh that he will have to shell out from the pocket, but it will be 50% of 2 lakh rupees that he will have to shell out from his pocket. So I hope you have understood that room rent limit should ideally be a non-negotiable. Now let's move on with the second non-negotiable, which is a sublimit and a copay. But first, let's understand the meaning. Well, a sublimit means the insurer will pay only up to a specific amount for a specific treatment or a disease, even if your sum insured is high. Now, let me take an example for that. Let's say the sum insured for a person is 1 lakh rupees and a person gets admitted for a cataract operation. Assume that the hospital bill was 1 lakh rupees. Ideally, should the person get the full amount? Answer is yes. But the answer would be no if there was a sublimit clause. If the policy says that sublimit for cataract is 40,000 per eye and assume that the person was treated only for one eye, the insurer will have to pay only 40,000 and balance 60,000 will have to be paid by the person who is admitted. Okay. The second one in this category would be a copay. But what is a copay? Copay means that you must pay a fixed percentage of the hospital bill every single time. You want an example for this as well? Okay. Now let's say again the amount for which he was insured is 1 lakh rupees. Assume that the hospital bill is also 1 lakh rupees. Will the person get the whole claim from the insurance company? Answer is no if the copay clause exists, and let's say the copay clause is of 20%. In this case, the 1 lakh rupees hospital bill will get split into two. 80,000 rupees can be paid by the insurer, but the insured, that is the patient, will have to pay 20,000 rupees because a copay clause of 20% existed. The third non-negotiable is exclusions and waiting period. So if you already have conditions like diabetes, BP, thyroid, you will have to check whether is it covered or not, or from which year it is covered, or is there a waiting period, something like 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. Well, you need to know that there are basically 3 types of waiting periods. The very first one is a 30-day waiting period. Nothing is covered in the first 30 days except for accident. Okay. Now the second one is about pre-existing diseases waiting period. Any pre-existing disease, something like, let's say, BP, diabetes, thyroid, these are not covered typically for the first 2 to 3 years. Of course, it depends from policy to policy, but in some policies you can reduce the pre-existing diseases waiting period. So it is important to disclose any pre-existing disease while you are buying an insurance policy. Now, in the third case, there could be specific illnesses related waiting period. Certain listed illnesses, something like a slow growing illness, these may not be covered for 2 years. And for this example, could be something like, let's say, cataract or hemorrhoids. Okay. But as I mentioned, for every insurance policy, the waiting periods could be different. So you need to check what is the waiting period in your own insurance policy. I'll give you the example of one of my family friend. He needed his cataract to get operated in the very first year when he took the health insurance policy. You know how much the insurance company paid? Zero. He had to pay the entire bill. Why? Because the policy very clearly said that under specific illnesses or slow growing illnesses, something like cataract, waiting period will be 2 years. So, as I mentioned, for his policy, it was 2 years. Please check for your policy what is the waiting period criteria. Now, let's go to one more point, which is exclusions. Now, your policy mentions under exclusions, as an example, let's say cosmetic surgery not covered, that's an example of exclusion. Or let's say it says dental procedures not covered unless there is an accident. So if these are the exclusions in your policy, and if you get a cosmetic surgery done to enhance your looks, you know how much amount will the insurance company pay? Zero, because these will be permanently excluded. Now the challenge is putting all these pieces together, be it the room rent limit, sublimits, exclusions, and so much more. And if you are not reading your policy documents, it can feel like this is too much. And that's exactly where Ditto comes in. Ditto is a new age insurance platform created by the people behind FinShots and backed by Zerodha, which is one of India's largest stockbrokers. Their whole mission is to give you spam free, honest, easy to understand insurance advice, especially for health insurance and term insurance. You can book a free call with their advisors and they will walk you through what cover makes sense for you and your family and for the city where you are staying in, where sublimits might hurt you later. They'll also help you with the claim process and how it actually works, and that too in absolute simple language. Most importantly, they don't spam you with random calls or they don't force you to buy the policies. So if you want to talk with an expert, you can book a free call with Ditto from their website. The link is there in the description and in the pinned comment below. Now, from the 321 cheat code, let's move on with two key numbers that you must know, because that decides whether the policy that you have chosen suits you or not. The very first number is sum insured, and I think this is one of the key numbers which tells you the total coverage amount. Now, many people do have an insurance policy, but they could be underinsured if they are taking a policy of something like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, and if they are staying in bigger cities. So, typically, as a very broad starting point, if you are an individual who is in a non metro, many people may look at something between 10 to 15 lakhs as a sum insured. And if I'm talking about people who are living in a metro, they could think about something like 15 to 25 lakhs. Of course, both these amounts I'm talking about for a family floater policy. Okay. The second number which you have to check out is the claim settlement ratio. Always remember, higher the better. What does it mean? If the claim settlement ratio is higher, it means that you have a higher chance of your insurance claim getting approved. And typically, I always say that look for 3 years data for a claim settlement ratio. This will ensure that if there is any recency bias, that is removed. So now that we are done with three non-negotiables, two key numbers, now comes the most important part, the one action. The one action that can save you from a lot of regret later. And this is that do not choose or review your health insurance policy alone in confusion, but sit with someone who actually understands it and who can go through it absolutely calmly. Now, this someone could be a trusted financial advisor. It could be your CA who understands overall finances as well. It could be some family member of yours, some friend of yours who understands finances well, or it could be an insurance expert from a platform like Ditto who does this every single day and is trained to explain it in simple terms. Just one honest 20 to 30 minute conversation can help you avoid both types of regret. One could be like, I didn't have enough cover, or the other one could be like, I was overpaying for years without any reason. Now, let's quickly recap the 3-2-1 cheat code so that you don't forget it. Three non negotiables, two key numbers, and one important action. And now comes the bonus tip: store your insurance policies digitally. And this can be done with simple apps like DigiLocker, because most families buy insurance but forget the most important step, that is storing the policy safely and easily making it accessible. In case of emergencies, searching for physical papers, that wastes precious time and creates unnecessary stress for your family. Digital storage solves this problem by keeping all your life insurance policies, health, or general insurance policies, all these documents safely and securely in one place. Now, with apps like DigiLocker, your policies are instantly accessible and cannot be lost, damaged, or misplaced. And in fact, your nominee can also easily retrieve these documents when needed, ensuring smooth claims and financial security. Well, I hope you have found a lot of value in today's video, but to just top up that value, I have given also one more very important point in the pinned comment. So don't forget to check that, where you will also find out the link for booking your call with Ditto. Do find time to discuss your insurance policy with their experts as well. If you did find out value in today's video, don't forget to smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.